Hi, my name's Thomas, aka MrWartburg, and I was going to talk about favorite books today, much like I did favorite video games last week. But, due to the news that Peyton Manning will be officially announcing his retirement tomorrow, I'm calling an audible. And I'm going to change the play to talking about my top 5 NFL quarterbacks of all time. We're going to start with an honorable mention, someone that's literally just off the cut, and that would be Dan Marino. For me, one of the hallmarks is actually being able to win in the big game, and he only had the one shot. Lost to Joe Montana, so, I mean, I can't really hold it against the guy, but he's like pretty much firmly number 6 on my list. So outside of that honorable mention, we're moving into the top 5. And my 5th is a guy that I've never actually seen play or very sporadically seen highlights of, and that would be Johnny Unitas. I don't have much to say about the guy on my list, mostly because, again, I've never really watched much of his play or anything like that, but he's in enough people's top 5s that he merits a spot in my list. In fact, the reason I'm making this list today was because I believe it was John Clayton put out his top 5, worked it into a story about Peyton Manning's retirement. And Clayton does have Unitas in that top 5. I think he's actually his number 4. But anyway, moving on. Number 4 would be a guy that has basically spanned my entire life as a football fan, barring the last 2 years. He's maybe my favorite player of all time. Probably not the best quarterback of all time. That's why he's only number 4 on the list. But that would be Brett Favre. He's a guy that just personified why I like watching football. A guy that never took a play off, put his body on the line for his team, and just flat out won. And up until this past year, had pretty much all the big records, you know, the yards and the touchdowns, which Manning did manage to beat this past season as well. He also won a couple of Super Bowls, if memory serves. I'm doing this, it's like called an audible. I'm not doing this with a tons of research. I just wanted to get this up on Sunday. So if I get some stats wrong, don't freak out. But Favre is definitely my number 4. Alright, for the top 3. Now this is where it gets to basically splitting hairs. There's not a ton of difference between them, whereas there is a pretty definitive line between number 4 and Favre in the top 3. For right now, nostalgia and like everything just makes me want to put Manning above 3. But I don't think I can, just because he didn't really do much this last season. If he had won that Super Bowl and it was on him, his arm did it, he had 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, yeah, he's probably number 2. But he didn't. He got there because of an amazing defense. But the breadth of his career definitely earns him the number 3 spot on my list. He was just super consistent for, 18 seasons, I think? Outside of this last one where his body just kind of gave up on him, which is to be expected at that age in the NFL. But definitely earned the number 3 spot on my list. Not that it really means anything, because I'm just a YouTube blogger, but whatever. Alright, number 2. Now between 1 and 2, this is an even closer split between, I don't know which one I want to put there, but I'm going to go Tom Brady for now, because he hasn't finished his career, whereas my number 1 has, for a long time has. If Brady manages to eke out another Super Bowl or another 4,000-yard season or another 40-touchdown-plus season, then yeah, he's definitively my number 1. Not even close. I mean, 4 Super Bowls in 6 tries, the 50-plus touchdown season, the 18-1 season, sorry. Like, that just speaks for itself. And that wasn't just like a one-off thing, you know. He's been that good pretty much since he took over the starting job back in, 2001, I think? And again, stats are not being super coordinated here just because I'm getting this up in a rush. But my number 1, unlike Brady, has finished his career. So maybe he'll drop to number 2 when Brady finishes. And that would be Joe Montana. The way he went about winning under Walsh with the 49ers is like the epitome of what you want a quarterback to be, in my opinion. Which, as for right now, is why he is my number 1. But again, these are always in flux because Brady hasn't finished. You know, there are other up-and-coming guys who may end up topping this list. You know, you got a guy like Russell Wilson who's already been to 2 Super Bowls and he's only been in the league, 4 or 5 years? You know, that's pretty awesome. And if he can continue that success and they continue that good defense, maybe he's rocketing up to that list. So what do you think of my top 5 and honorable mention with the 6th? What is your top 5? Any current quarterbacks like Wilson or someone else who's either maybe not even in the NFL yet, is still in college, that could be that next top 5, top 10 quarterback? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, like the video, subscribe, that whole 9 yards. Follow me on Twitter at MrWartburg to shoot me your topics as well. See ya.